Yo! What's up, people? I'm LR Blitzkrieg.
I am the MarXman.
This is Aiight So Boom.
Boom.
First episode! we have no clue what we're doing. We've changed camera setups about 4 or 5 times. Right now we're recording on my iPhone 12 because my GoPro wasn't working and it's all I've got in terms of cameras. But as we grow, you'll grow with us, hopefully. Please stay with us. Subscribe to the channel. It's going to be dope. We're going to have a good time. So,
what are we doing?
Well, so people, like I said, my name's Blitz. Just call me Blitz. Short form, that's how it goes. I'm an MC. I do lots of different types of recordings. I wanted to create a podcast at some point in time. My good friend here already has a podcast.
X Marks the Black podcast, no doubt.
And for a while, when WandaVision came out, the first Marvel show after the movies, right? We decided that we were going to talk about these shows, and the best way we thought to talk about it was for us to go on IG Live. Mm-hmm. And we just went in there and we talk on IG Live just for our own enjoyment, right? But it seemed that a lot of people liked it. So me wanting to start a podcast and him already having a podcast, we said, well, why don't we just create another one? And that's how you guys get Aiight So Boom.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it. So basically, we're going to dissect, break down these major shows that have all of these elements and plot points to it. We're going to make sure we add some context to it and give you some more information so that you can enjoy these shows even better.
And the stuff that we don't like, we'll tell you just don't watch it.
Exactly. We'll save you that time.
Yeah. That's what we do here. We're giving people. So, I mean, what do you want to start with?
Boom. Well, it's really hard. We will get to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That is the main course of today. But we cannot... Marvel has definitely had our attention, right? We've been kneeling at the altar of Disney for a while.
So much Marvel and it wants so much more.
I feel like DC was like, all right, hold up. We do have some characters. Yeah. We are kind of popular out there. We have this film that honestly Warner Bros. Didn't even really care about. But the fans, which is another topic, the fans really wanted this Snyder cut out. So 2017, we got Justice League, right, and now we got the Snyder cut. Yeah, first edition was trash. No one liked it. Literally, no one liked it. And, what happened with that was Zack Snyder was in charge of the film. For those of you that don't know, hopefully there are some of you that need this information. He was in charge of the film. He was filming it, and he left the film for personal reasons, is what we were told. He had a death in his family, and that's why he says he left. DC or Warner Brothers may say, they felt like it was a good breaking point for them with him because they didn't like the direction that his movies were going with Batman versus Superman and Superman. And so they brought in Joss Whedon. Good old Josh. The Justice League.
Needless to say, that didn't go very well because you guys saw the movie or didn't see the movie. Right. And the internets, the fandom asked for the Snyder Cut for years and years. They said, give us the Snyder Cut. And with HBO Max and Warner Brothers having this new platform, they decided to give it to us in 4-hour glory.
The contracts made it very complicated because they wanted to do it in 4 different episodes and split it up. Right. But these actors already signed on for a film, so they would have had to redo their contracts. So Zach was like, you know what? Let's just do this 4-hour film. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, did you watch it in one setting? Blitz said he watched it in one setting.
I was in bed.
I did not do that. I watched it in 2. I tried to watch it twice. The second time I watched it, I fast forwarded a lot.
Tried to watch it twice?
Yeah, I the second time I fast forwarded a lot.
Who has that much time?
I did. I know.
For a DC movie.
I know, man. I know.
Oh my God.
Notice I say try because the second time wasn't as successful. Right. But I wanted to get the major tent poles out the way so that I had a better understanding of of what was done.
Yeah. I don't remember, to be honest, the original version of the movie. There were, while watching the Snyder Cut, there were small parts where it's like, okay, I remember that from the original. I remember that from the original. All I remember really from the original was that it felt really rushed. It felt like they were trying to cram a lot into a small amount of time. They were like shoehorning characters in really quickly that didn't make sense. And the overall movie was just unenjoyable. So with this one, what did you think?
I mean, this was a filmmaker's dream. You know, we don't, you know, I know Zack Snyder definitely went through his hell to get here. I felt that based on what we saw in 2017, this was a triumph. I don't think that's, you know, it is debatable, but I don't feel that can be contested too much compared to what we saw.
No, for sure. I think leaps and bounds better than the original movie from what I remember. I came away from this enjoying the overall experience, thinking that it could have been edited a little bit. Some of the slow motion shots could have been, you know, sped up to regular speed.
Right.
A little, you know, some of the pensive stares could have been cut.
Right.
I watched it with the subtitles on.
Okay.
And in every scene that Wonder Woman was in, there was what was it called? I can't remember what it was called. What they called the music, like ancient, like lamenting, right? And you'd hear you'd hear like all of these like weird noises. Yeah. And every time she came on screen, you would see that ancient lamenting or what. It was really funny to me and my wife. But you know, things like that could have been shortened up, but overall, I think that the overall experience and the character development was way better.
We can tell that we can tell what Joss wanted to be in this film. We can tell who Joss did not want to be in this film.
Yeah, Josh, what's up with that?
You know, the number one, the hugest character is Cyborg, right? That's the hugest character that, you know, Zack Snyder's always said that Cyborg was the heart of this film. We've known that even throughout the regular cut. So we, as fans, we always have to wonder, what did Cyborg have to do in the Snyder cut? And we were told.
Give me a sec. Aiight So Boom.
Yeah.
What had happened was Joss Whedon doesn't like black people. As you could see from this movie. Because Zack Snyder's episode or cut had a huge role of Cyborg. He was actually the heart and soul of the entire movie. His father was in it way more. He was a big part of the movie. His mother was in the movie.
She's black.
She's black. His daddy black.
Daddy's black too.
He black.
He's black too.
The Flash, he saved this girl that later on becomes his wife.
Iris.
She black.
She was black.
Cyborg's father had a partner or an assistant who's an Asian man.
He's in the comics. He is actually going to be the next Adam.
He wasn't in Josh's version.
No, he wasn't.
So
he wasn't. What's up, Josh?
What's up, Josh? What happened? Now, what happened after Joss Whedon's version came out was the guy that plays Cyborg. What's his name?
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher went on a media blitz, talking about how he felt like he was misused in the movie or underused in the movie after Joss Whedon came on, and he didn't really give specifics, but he definitely felt like he was wronged in the filming of the movie, so much so that he went on a huge media campaign. He said that he'll never work for them again, and he actually got cut from the Flash movie that's supposed to come out. He said that Warner Brothers was complicit in all of this, and you know, it seems to me, I don't know about you, after seeing Zack Snyder's version of the movie, that he might be right.
He might have been on something.
Yeah.
I mean, he complained more about the filming. Ray Fisher complained a lot about the environment, the filming environment. Even Gal Gadot had some issues. If you remember in the first film, Flash had done some a scene where he falls into Wonder Woman's bosom, like on the floor. Gal Gadot didn't like that.
Right.
You know,
over-sexualized for no reason.
Over-sexualized.
There was no reason for it. Yeah.
So you can see a lot of those things just were taken away.
And Whedon's he's had tons of problems. If you look, like even back when he was doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, one of the characters said that it was in her contract that he was not allowed to be alone in the room with her. And this girl was like at the time 16 or something like that. Like, what is up with that?
And that's a major We didn't know this until now. I mean, this past year or two is when Joss Whedon has been seen in this light. As far as before this, I mean, this is the man who brought us Avengers. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the man who brought us Age of Ultron. Right. He was the god. I mean, when Avengers came out, Joss Whedon was that dude. Yeah. So right now to have his name, he's a part of the Me Too movement now. I mean, he's just kind of just been, So Zack Snyder kind of found his way to kind of get his name back.
Ooh, Josh, what's up with that? No, never mind.
It's Joss. You keep calling him Josh.
Yeah.
It's disrespecting his name.
Joss?
It's Joss.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't care that much.
It's all good. It don't matter. But, like, as far as these characters, I'm curious to know how you felt about, like, Superman. Let's say Superman. He wasn't in the film that much.
He wasn't. People say that, a lot of people have said that it was a Superman movie, but I don't really feel that. I feel it was definitely a teen movie, a movie that was about all of the bits in the pieces that came together to make this one whole. With, honestly, like I said, Cyborg being the heart and soul of all of that because of who his character is and the mother boxes. And all of that. But I like Henry Cavill as Superman.
Agreed.
I think that he deserves another movie to show his range, because really the first movie is all set up, right? And then, you have these team-up movies. I would like to see one movie of just him after we already know who he is. He knows who he is now, and he can show a little bit more range and depth of the character. Because at first it's like, I'm an alien, fish out of water, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think he's a good actor and would be able to do more with the role if he had another movie. I don't think he had much to do in this movie besides for special effects, boom boom beat 'em up stuff. He didn't talk very much. I can't stand the whole family aspect of what they do in the DC movies with Superman killed his dad for no reason. Right. His mom is just there, and Lois Lane,
right.
It's Lois Lane, whatever. Give it. You take her or leave her. I could care. I care less. But I thought he was cool.
Right.
He's Superman. He's cool.
Just indifferent.
He did his job.
Superman poses a problem with a lot of filmmakers in that he's so powerful. It's like, what do we do with this guy? So you could tell that they were, kind of like in, Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame. I was like, I gotta go. I'll see you later. I got this mission. Like, you can't really have them there the whole time because they're so superpowered.
Right.
The black suit was a big deal. Yeah. Fans wanted to see this black suit. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that black suit is important to comic book fans because that's what he used to regenerate himself.
I wish they would explain that just a little. It's very easy in the movie to say, hey, I have this suit over here that's kind of like solar panels. It absorbs the sun's heat. That gives me enough. It allows me to absorb, the sun's rays where Superman gets his powers faster, so that I can, go out here and fight, this big alien.
It's not a fashion choice, In the film, I feel like they used the black suit to show how this is a new Superman. They didn't use it to, fan service, and then for that, they didn't use it as the real purpose it was, which is whatever. Like, if you have 4 hours, I feel like they could have done that.
It took 30 seconds out of the 4 hours.
It would have been nothing at all. A cool little tip point is when I remember they were walking down as he was choosing his suit, as he was walking down, he saw the empty sarcophaguses, the empty coffins.
Right. One
was open and empty. And it was for years, Zack has been saying that was supposed to be Supergirl. For years he's been saying that. Like, way before this came out,
Because I remember one of them actually had a person in it.
Yeah.
At one point in time, you assume that person was dead.
Right.
But That's interesting. I didn't even realize.
One was just gaping open. You know, Zack Snyder definitely left a lot of holes open. You know what I mean? Like we could definitely go through these characters really quick to see how how Zack had his plans for him. What about Batman?
Again, I like Ben Affleck's Batman. I don't think that very many of the characters got to show as much range of emotion as I would like.
Even in the Snyder Cut.
Even in the Snyder Cut, there are quite a few. I think Flash was able to. I think Cyborg did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's never going to show anything but what she shows because Gal Gadot is a very pretty woman and looks great as Wonder Woman, but she's a terrible actress.
Right.
Batman, I think it could, again, they could have did more. They could have done more with him, but again, that would have unfolded in a, Ben Affleck Batman, all Batman movie.
Right.
So for the time that he had on screen,
yeah,
I think he did his thing. I like him as Batman. I wish he would come back for sure.
We'll see. He definitely is a good Bruce Wayne, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Zack had plans for him.
That's right. That's where he gets to show his range, right? But as Bruce Wayne in this movie, he was Bruce Wayne hanging around the Justice League for the most part.
Right.
So he was Batman just in Bruce Wayne clothes.
True.
He never got to go out into the world where he has to pretend that he has this alter ego.
Right. They didn't have time for that.
Yeah. That's
definitely if you go back to like the Justice League. If we say Justice League, we're talking about Joss Whedon's version. They meant to make him funny. They were trying to make him have quips and stuff, and that's not his character. So I'm glad that they kind of tempered him down.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the end of the film, you see a Lex Luthor speaking with Deathstroke.
Mm-hmm.
They changed that because they were trying to have a solo Batman film after this. So the conversation with Deathstroke was, "Yo, this is his secret identity. Go get him." And that was going to be the next Batman film. But Ben Affleck to me was a solid casting. He's a good actor. You know.
Looks the part.
White man with brown hair is really all you need.
Yep.
And he definitely did his thing in this cut. Wonder Woman, you mentioned Wonder Woman. Listen,
she's just there.
We've all seen WandaVision, right? So we all know the benefit of having a strong lead.
Yeah.
Or an actress with strong skill that you can put anywhere. Gal Gadot is not that actor,
Right.
Right.
So
So what they have to do is use Hollywood magic to kind of fill in the gaps.
And that's why you get Steve
Trevor.
You get Steve Trevor back because he has to be the emotion and the funny guy, and he has to do all the tricks that make characters relatable, enjoyable. Because Wonder Woman is she's pretty one-dimensional.
They did a lot of context. The Themyscira battle with the Amazons, right? Yeah. So in the original cut, they had a little battle. Mm-hmm. They came through the underground situation, and we knew that Steppenwolf was in there. We knew they needed to get out. But with this version, there was so much more context to that underground scene. Mm-hmm. Even how remember how the Queen had these strong diesel Amazons holding up the pillars.
Yeah.
That context was different because in the first one, it almost seemed like that was a part of the plan. When you escape, I'm going to hold up the bricks until you get out.
Right.
But in this version, there was a parademon holding the Queen back. So she's like, cut it. And then she realized she was being held back. So then she had to do that slide. That right there was so, it was so subtle.
And then they let it fall on them. They knew it was a wrap for them. Oh man.
And they sacrificed their lives.
I enjoyed that.
Pointed to a sacrifice.
Yeah.
That pointed to, the Queen is out. We got what we need to get. My life doesn't even matter as much.
Right. And none of it mattered because Steppenwolf got out and, what happened.
He definitely wrecked shop.
But I guess he gave them some time to try and get away.
Flashpoint, they definitely led to Flashpoint.
Yeah.
They literally had him rewind time.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
That's an Easter egg, you know what I
mean?
He
was my favorite. He was honestly my favorite character because he got
Flash?
to. Yeah, I think the Flash was his comedy and his his not knowing what to do in this world because he's brand new to it,
Right.
and facing these huge problems, and even like his falterings, like him tripping and falling or whatever, all of that I enjoyed a lot because he's not a perfect character and he shouldn't.
He's us.
Yeah.
Him falling, it's funny you mentioned him falling, because I remember looking at him falling and being a little bothered, because I'm like, bro, first of all, you should be dead how he's flying into a wall after every time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't have been mad at you guys if you had him landing successfully once.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's crashing into a wall. I mean, the Speed Force does give you a little...
Yeah.
It does give you a little, reinforcement.
Right.
But I would have definitely liked to see Flash go fast and then kind of just skid and just stand still. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. But nah, this is something that, we could definitely go into this for hours, but they definitely did a good job of giving us something that can provoke more thought. Even with the Mother Box, they called the Mother Box Object 619982. Right? That's what Star Labs named the Mother Box.
Right.
Object 61982. What that is, that's a reference to the Cyborg comic. It was a Teen Titans comic that came out in June of 1982 that featured Cyborg, one of his first appearances.
6. And it was 182?
1982.
Got it.
It was June's issue.
Oh, got it.
So they did there's so many of these things that the first Justice League had none of these real callbacks. There was nothing real deep or profound.
Nah, it was really, it seemed like it was very rushed, very put together, just to get all of these characters in one place to, fight something. And it didn't matter what that something was, because nobody cares about Steppenwolf. Everybody wants Darkseid.
Cyborg sees these visions. We were talking about the nightmare scene. Cyborg actually saw this injustice future. So you may want to explain if you didn't know what that nightmare scene was. This is probably one of my favorite storylines from DC is Injustice. I don't know if there's one to me that's doper than the Injustice storyline, where Joker is responsible for Lois Lane's death, and Lois Lane is pregnant with Superman's baby. In this film, we actually see a little scene of Lois Lane with a pregnancy test, so we could see that Zack Snyder was working towards this. In this future where Lois dies, Superman wigs out, he loses it, and he pretty much becomes a servant of Darkseid. Yeah.
That storyline, cool. The future Vision, hated it. I hated it.
Yeah.
It was too long. It didn't make a lot of sense within what we got as a movie. And it just seemed out of place, and it was too late in the movie. Like, we already had our big battle. Everything already happened. It was like, you just tagged this on at the end just to give us that little bit extra. It's like a Marvel post-credit scene, but way too long, and telling us something that we know is going nowhere.
That's a good point, bro, because you actually bring up a very good point. If that was released as an after-credit sequence, I think it would have been a lot different.
I might have liked it. I might have liked it a little bit better, and yeah.
Even if it was that long, but it was an after-credit sequence. Like, you saw the movie. Thank you for watching the movie.
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom.
Gave me a chance to reset, and then like, oh wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Like that probably, I probably would have enjoyed it more.
That's interesting. They probably thought they'd be biting off of Marvel too much, but that's actually it would have been a smooth tactic. I would have appreciated it a lot more.
For sure.
Because it was definitely something that was tacked on. Even with Marvin Manhunter, even his scenes were tacked.
Wait.
On.
Time out. There's Martian Manhunter, and then there's Marvin.
Did I say Marvin?
And then there's Marvin the Martian from Warner Brothers Looney Tunes. There is no Marvin the Manhunter.
Yo.
You know the guy that talks like this.
I'm with DC now. Yo, you're right about that. I mean, they definitely tacked him on in the most obvious way which to me was just very sloppy, you know.
Yeah. They could have left him out because just adding him for fan service makes me feel as a fan. Well, why wasn't he in the fight?
Right.
You didn't get in the fight at all. You didn't fly out like go help somebody.
He even said, he was like, and just like what did he say? He actually said a line. He was like, you know, I feel like, you know, now I'm part of this fight. Like, we're like, bro, you know what we just went through?
Yo, fam, the movie's over. We're done.
This is literally the longest movie ever made, and you're talking about now
at the end.
It's like, okay, bro. But that was one of their plans, you know, having my boy Henry, forgot the name of the actor, the gentleman, the black dude from
another black character that was cut from the Josh Whedon version.
Henry Lennox. Shout out to you, Henry Lennox.
Yeah, salute. Bro.
He always plays that role. He talks like this, and you know, he's always, you know, in Matrix, and he plays a specific kind of tight ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, he's good at that corporate military role.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at the end of Man of Steel, Zack Snyder kind of released that little tidbit that he meant for this gentleman to play Manhunter the whole time. So that's I keep wanting to call him Marvin. So that's something that they kind of, you know, Zack Snyder wanted all of the Justice Leaguers in. He wanted, you know, a Green Lantern. He wanted these things, but he just wasn't able to put it all together.
I want to talk about something really, really serious. This is what everybody wants to know. What happened with Quavo and Saweetie? What happened?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
They were one of my favorite couples. I'm kidding. Let's get back. Let's get back to this nerd shit.
Back to the nerd shit. But nah, I mean, as far as you know, we covered Cyborg. What else did we cover? We covered pretty much all the characters. Was there a favorite scene that you had? Was there something that you were like, yo, this is my favorite scene in this 4-hour journey?
You know, it's probably the final battle. That was probably the best. I gotta say the action scenes were really well done. You know, would I have liked to see Darkseid like really get into it, like even more? That would have been dope.
Yeah.
But I think the way that this was built was, you know, if and when there would be more Darkseid,
right,
that would come later on. I think the redo of Steppenwolf was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I liked his character a lot more. I like that, you know, you got the feeling that he had betrayed his brother somehow, like, you know, Megatron Starscream type, you know, right, like he tried to overtake him and it didn't work, and then he got banished. So he had to redeem himself. They're probably never gonna let him redeem himself. They're just gonna use him to like take over all of these other worlds and just keep, you know, like keep making him feel like, you know, the stepchild.
Right, Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, right? But I liked that I understood his motivations, and it wasn't just, you know, this dastardly villain,
right, with
I just want to, you know, dominate. That's right, what Darkseid was there for. Also, you know, the anti-life equation.
That's a big part too.
But giving any villain more depth than just, you know, I just want to crush the good guys, always makes me happy.
You know, that always works. Steppenwolf in the first one, literally, he pulled out all of the tropes in movies that we've heard already.
Yeah.
Puny humans, you know, like all of these, you know, he definitely ran the gamut as far as a typical mustache twirling villain. Yeah. And definitely he had more depth to him. Even his suit, you know, as he bowed to Darkseid, his suit kind of removed to show that level of respect. I mean, it constantly moved. It constantly had life. That was, I mean, these little details are huge.
It was very much like the suit, now that I think about it, and I never had this thought until just now, it was very much like the new version of the Sentinels in the X-Men movie, where everything like moved around them. It was like lots of different, you know, plates that were able to move and meld armor in different ways
I thought you were gonna say I thought you were gonna talk about the Transformers. Because I had like a Megatron, you know, like they were extra pixelated for no reason.
Yeah, I'll never talk about those.
Listen, when Steppenwolf was killed, that was one of the most gangster moments.
Yeah.
You know, you have Aquaman impaled him, picked him up. Superman punched him, and then Wonder Woman did the most Wonder Woman thing she's done ever since we've seen Wonder Woman. To me, that move was Wonder Woman. Not this Wonder Woman 1984 bullshit.
That was terrible. I don't care what y'all say. Sorry.
When she jumped over, was like, and cut his head off, and then sent his decapitated body through the boom tube to Darkseid's feet. Yeah. That, to me, was worth the price of admission. Yeah,
for sure.
That's a Justice League moment.
I liked her her scene in the bank, too.
Yeah, that was very, on the nose. You have a bunch of girls in school. It was a all-girls school.
Oh, yeah. I mean, aside from the heavy-handedness of But actually, I thought that was kind of cool. Like,
she's the hero for the
And there was a lot of he put a lot of things in there for his daughter who passed away. She committed suicide. Right?
She did. She did.
So a lot of this was about family. It was about parents. It was about you can be anything that you want to be. A lot of it was you could see the subtle hints. And even the not so subtle hints that he put in the movie just for his daughter.
Right. There's even a poster. There's even a suicide hotline billboard. That scene, I believe it's the Flash scene where he saves Iris. If you look in that neighborhood, there's some sort of suicide. So these are real people dealing with real issues. Yeah. Like real families. So as much as we're excited to see this. Understand the reason why this came about is definitely not a positive situation.
Overall, I'm glad we got it. Okay. I'm glad we got it at home. I'm glad I didn't have to go to the movies to watch this 4-hour movie. Right. And it's really cinematic. It's very beautiful to look at, and storyline was a lot better than the original. So the people that kept saying hashtag give me the Snyder cut, give me the Snyder cut. You got it, and I think that they should, me as well as them, because I wasn't one of those people that was hashtagging all over the place. I think you should be happy with what you got. Now, what you do with that is up to you, whether or not you continue this crusade and ask for more Snyder, because this movie is supposed to be its own thing and end here, or you guys try and get Snyder to do more, or at least continue the storyline from this movie rather than the original version.
I mean, you have a choice. When it comes down to it, it seems silly to me that Warner Brothers never thought that if this does work, we need to continue. Yeah. With, what I'm saying? Like, they know this. That if something wins, it's a win, but it doesn't seem like they had that kind of faith in it.
You guys are in charge. That's what it is. That's what it is now. It wasn't that before, but now everybody has a voice. Everybody's online. Everybody has the ability to make the studio heads hear what they want. And if it's going to make more money to do what the crowd overwhelmingly wants, they're going to do it. Yeah. I think the first time we saw that was with Sonic the Hedgehog. They put out that trash Sonic the Hedgehog, and the fans were like, no, we're never going to go see that. Okay. And then they went back and retooled it, and then I guess some people saw it. I didn't, but I think that movie was made.
Sequel on the way.
That movie might have been 20 years too late, but whatever.
They made their money. Fans definitely have more power than they used to. So. Do y'all want more Justice League? Let us know. Aiight So Boom. Let us know if you want more of this Justice League.
Yeah. Let's move on, man. I want to get into what we're here for. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
What up, Marvel?
This is my second one of these Falcons. I used to have one from the 70s, and I lost it, fell apart. I was a kid. Didn't take care of it, and then I got this one. My brother bought me another one because he knew how much I liked the original. And here's Falcon, Sam Wilson in all his chesty glory, showing off the nips. Deep V.
The deep V. You want to show him the comic?
Yeah, man. I was always into Falcon because he's a black man, right? And his Falcon #1 when he got his first limited edition series, Falcon #2 over here. I have all of them, but yeah, that was his first comic with him as the lead character.
Now Black Panther was out, before Falcon, but Falcon represents the African American, the first African American, before Luke Cage.
Yeah.
He was holding down African Americans in the comics for a while, since the 70s. Yeah. He could actually talk to birds.
Yeah.
It was more than just a flight suit. He could definitely talk to birds and had that as a power skill set. So he had a real bird, Red Wing, with him.
Aiight So Boom.
Yeah.
How come? And I'm sorry, I'm going back to the last movie. How come Aquaman never makes the fish do nothing?
Because
no dolphins, they didn't do nothing.
I think because people make fun of Aquaman so much. When they had that line where he's like, "You talk to fish," and he's like, "The water does the talking." I think they're trying to shield from just ridicule. That's my opinion.
I digress. Let's get back in the Falcon.
You think Falcon should be talking to birds?
Absolutely not. No, he should not be talking to birds. I think they do a good job with updating the characters in Marvel and even not giving him a bird, because in the comics he has a Falcon named Red Wing that flies around with him that he talks to, and obviously here he gets a drone that's kind of like a droid now almost.
Listen,
so it's
we can talk about that.
Kind of got an R2-D2 on his back, which is kind of dope.
Funny you said that, because he did a lot of R2-D2ing, even with the noises. Yeah, you heard the... Yeah. I mean, you want to get right into the episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
Listen, I know y'all watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. We have 6 episodes this season.
6.
Each episode will be around 45 to 50 minutes, so we're not going to have the WandaVision please stand by after 20 minutes of story, 30 minutes of story. Right. But of course, we have a lot more action. This is not about, the level of Easter eggs. Is a different situation in WandaVision. So
very different show.
How did you feel about? Well, we can go into the sequence, because it starts with an action scene.
Yeah.
It starts with a very important and very detailed action scene. What are your thoughts about what happened?
I love the way the show started. We got right into it. You felt like you were in an action movie, like right where we left off with the type of action that you expect from a Marvel movie. Right. A lot of Marvel movies start where, as soon as it opens up, somebody's running and something, some high-speed chase or something is going on. And this gave that feeling again, as opposed to, and I know a lot of people are going to continue to do this, where they're going to compare this to WandaVision. And it's really night and day. It's two completely different types of shows. Yeah. This one obviously has more of that Winter Soldier feel, which was probably one of my top 3, if not top 2, Marvel movies ever. The other being Endgame, right? Just the level of action, espionage,
political thriller.
Yeah, So for us to get a show that is going to encompass all of that, I'm super with it. It showed you in that first opening scene, you got to see how different this Falcon is from the Falcon that we got before. His suit is a lot more agile. His wings are a lot more malleable. Like they move like bird wings now. They're not so rigid. But at the same time, they're super bulletproof. He has Red Wing again on his back, who seems to have a lot more capabilities than it did before, and he seems really in tune with being the Falcon. Mm-hmm. It looked right out of a super high budget movie. It at no point in time did I feel like I was watching a TV show
at all. You could put that scene up against any other action scene. I don't think we've seen a flying scene on that level since some Iron Man. Maybe that Iron Man 3 scene when he saved all the people from the plane. We haven't seen a lot of aerial action in the Marvel Universe. I mean, they were saying in WandaVision that Agatha and Wanda, that was their biggest flying battle that they've ever done. So just put that in context to what Falcon's doing. We saw that he's mission ready. We saw that they're relying on him. We to go to Red Wing though, I cannot emphasize how smart it was to translate a red-winged Falcon to a drone. Yeah. Okay, when we first saw this in Civil War, that was so brilliant. That scene in Civil War where they kind of just posted up and, Scarlet Witch and Black Widow, they had this mission. Remember that mission they had? When they went to this, forgot his name, Captain America's nemesis was in there, the CDC getting this biological weapon. We actually saw that communication. Now we see Red Wing has artillery. Right. He can't fit that many bullets, so they showed that he does a lot of different things. Yeah. Laser.
Got a couple rockets.
Yes. A few bullets. And voice command. You know what I mean? There's something where he has its own little sidekick, and I just couldn't get enough of watching him deflect, and then kind of come back into his back. Like, it was very Tony Stark. You could definitely tell Stark maybe upgraded him a little bit.
Hook them up with some gadgets, but not any money.
Yeah, we'll definitely get there. So the dude, Torres.
Yeah. So in this scene, Sam Wilson is trying to save this guy who I think was a sword agent. I believe he had a sword patch on.
Did he? Okay.
I believe so. But he's trying to save him. Yeah. Batroc, the Leaper.
That's right. Winter Soldier.
He's trying to save him from him before they get into, I think it was Libyan airspace.
Yeah.
And he has like 90 seconds to get him, and they put on these flying squirrel suits and they jump out of the plane. There's just so much going on, so much action, and he gets the guy, and Batroc's helicopter blows up, and he jumps out. Right now, I believe, right, here's my prediction. Aight, so boom. Do you think that when Quavo cried about Saweetie, he cried in auto-tune? I'm just asking.
Who did his ad-libs?
Stop me. Sorry. I don't know why I keep going off track. So, I think that when Batroc went down, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps he had a really rough landing, right?
Okay.
Maybe when he landed, perhaps he hurts his legs.
Okay.
And he has to either get super serum or some type of bionic enhancements so that he now can leap really high, like he can in the comics.
That'd be interesting if they revisit Batroc.
It's just a prediction, guys. We'll see what happens.
Well, he's saying that because if you don't know, in the comic books, go back to Winter Soldier, Batroc the Leaper is an actual character. I forgot the gentleman who's playing him, but he's a fighter.
Yeah, UFC fighter.
He's a UFC fighter who's known he's known for his leg power.
Right.
So to cast, this UFC fighter to play Batroc the Leaper was just smart. To bring him back in this series was also smart. I hope we do see him again.
Super great fan.
If he's enhanced, that'll be even dope. I didn't even think about that. I kind of saw him as Batroc the Leaper already, but you could always get better.
Yeah.
And they're definitely going into a super soldier, concept. So that's interesting.
There's going to be a lot of powers in this show, for sure.
The Hydra flight suits, those were Hydra colors on purpose. The flying squirrel joints. I mean, if you go in the comics, you see a lot of black with that yellow line. Like, it was pretty much a little callback to that. Whether they're going there, I don't know, but that was pretty much what they did. Yeah. So we have that character, Torres. Mm-hmm. The mission was successful.
Who was his eyes and ears on the ground. Mm-hmm. He's in a Jeep, while all this aerial fighting is going on above him. And once it's all over, they meet up and they talk to each other, and you get Torres. Reference to the comic books. Torres is a character. He's a character who actually takes the Falcon mantle when Falcon is Captain America. Right.
Does that mean that's happening now? I'm not going to go WandaVision crazy. You know, that may be an ode, that may just be a call. What do you think?
I'm going to assume, right, and you know, all this is speculation. I think that yes, Sam will at the end become Captain America, and I do think that he will probably become Falcon. But when Sam becomes Captain America, he keeps his wings, right? So he's a winged Captain America. Sidebar, I always thought when he became Captain America, why did he not just become Captain America, but also take on the name American Eagle?
American Eagle!
Come on, that's fly. Marvel. Just call me. I got you.
He got you.
I got you.
American Eagle, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot. I mean, this is the first episode. We don't know how far, you know, and I think that's the cool part of this series. We don't know how far Falcon is going to go with the Captain America title. We don't know how far, you know, he's going to...
I mean, we're assuming that Sam is going to, by the end of the show, become Captain America, yes?
We don't know that.
We don't know that. But...
it's one thing to take the shield and be Falcon. It's another thing to take the shield and be Captain America. You know what I'm saying?
You see this pop? This is a Falcon pop. Old school Falcon, deep V. Now, there is a pop with Sam wearing the Captain America suit. So, he's got to become Captain America.
Oh, you saw the pop, like, recently?
There is a pop. I seen it online.
Toys, if you're laughing at what he said, toys are how we forecast what's happening in movies.
A lot of times.
Because they create toys before the movie comes out, and then we look at the toy and go, oh, that's what that character's going to be. So
happening.
Toys is really a huge part of what nerds look at to see what's happening in the upcoming film. I personally don't think he's going to be called Captain America.
Really?
I don't think so.
I do. I do think he's going to be called Captain America. I think there's a lot of reasons why. Mm-hmm. If, you know... I think there's a lot of foreshadowing in this first episode. I mean, it's only a 6-episode show. Mm-hmm. And with it being only 6 episodes and also being longer episodes, I feel like they probably spent more money on this show than they did WandaVision.
You think so?
That's just my assumption, because if you get a shorter run, mm-hmm. right, and just looking at this first episode, you would just assume that they put so much money into it that they had to cut the amount of episodes that you get. That's just my assumption. I could be wrong. Whatever.
It all comes down to how much that CGI. You're right. I mean, the CGI.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
The fight scenes tend to be expensive, right? So that definitely makes sense.
I mean, just that first scene with the aerial, you know, flying.
And they use drones to shoot that. They use practical to shoot that, and of course CGI. So when you're able to fuse, we don't know what we're watching, right? Yeah, we see them flying through the air. We don't know what we're watching. That's when filmmaking just becomes, you know, at its best, because you're able to kind of pull from these different, tactics. So, but he's a black man in America, right? So the cool part about this episode is we see this first scene, right? He does these things that we're like, yes, you're so cool, you're an Avenger. And then he goes to a bank and he becomes just like every other black man, you know, in America.
Yeah, well, let's go from, he you know, hits the ground, he talks to Torres, mm-hmm. He fixes his Red Wing, and I guess what happens after that? He goes back home to Louisiana?
He goes back home to Louisiana.
Anthony Mackie is actually from New Orleans.
In real life.
We live in Brooklyn, and we've both been to his bar.
We
actually went to his bar together.
I performed at his bar.
Yeah. My wife actually, she used to work over there. And, you know,
Crown Heights.
Spoke to Anthony Mackie all the time. And Sebastian Stan was in there, you know. But anyway, he would serve drinks to people, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was called No Bar because he's from New Orleans. N-O is New Orleans, but also because it was on Nostrand Avenue.
That's what I thought.
N-O, right.
Until I heard him say it was, I had no idea it was New Orleans. I thought it was Nostrand. But,
yeah.
You know, shout out to Anthony Mackie for doing some stuff in Brooklyn.
But I might only say that because I wonder if he had some influence on where his character went. Because, you know, they put him in a setting where he was in Louisiana, and it was something that was familiar to him, or something that he thought he could act better, just because it it was so familiar to him.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a good question.
Yeah,
and with the boat subplot, I mean, that just kind of fits in like a hand in glove.
Yeah.
So his sister, the family owned boats. The name of the boat, I believe, was Paul, and whatever the parents' name was the name of the boat. And the sister, of course, they've been through. Of course, forget Falcon was gone in the blip.
Yeah, 5 years.
So he has nephews that he's now meeting.
This show is 6 months after the blip.
Mm-hmm.
WandaVision was like
3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, a very short amount of time after the blip.
Mm-hmm.
And Far From Home is, I think, 8 months after the blip.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, if you're looking at the timeline, you've got Endgame, then you've got WandaVision, then you've got Falcon Winter Soldier, then you've got Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the full lineage that we have right now as we speak. Who knows where Loki's going to go or any of the other shows, but that's what we've got right now.
I mean, they're smart enough to space them out so that the shows don't touch each other. You know what I'm saying? They're very smart with that, and they're they're on different terrains.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they'll never really cross, but it's kind of good to get the idea of what's going on with them. And we can't forget about Winter Soldier himself.
Yes. Super interesting character.
Very.
I definitely like what they're doing with him in giving him this. It's very Black Widowish to me.
Mm-hmm.
That she's
red in my ledger.
She's got red in her ledger. He's got red in his ledger, and they disagree. Or they agree, who knows?
Black Widow.
Yeah, that he has things that he feels he has to atone for because he remembers everyone that he killed when he was the Winter Soldier, and that's just eating at him. He has nothing else in his life but this, his grief, or not necessarily grief, his guilt for all the bad things that he did, even though he wasn't in control of himself when they happened.
Do you remember how in Winter Soldier, Captain America had a list? He had a little handbook of things that he needed to learn.
Catch up on.
Yeah. Winter Soldier has the same booklet, but his list is different. His list are people that I need to, things I need to amend.
Right.
So that was a very cool callback to be able to show that. They showed Winter Soldier waking up on the floor after a vision. He kind of had this memory of as Winter Soldier completing a mission and killing this innocent Asian man who we realize, is this dude's son. So, that was a callback to, of course, in Winter Soldier when, Sam is talking to Cap about, sleeping out in the field on the floor and you come back home and a mattress feels like a marshmallow. Like, these are very subtle. Watch Winter Soldier again. Watch Winter Soldier if you have time, and I promise you'll understand this series a lot more because they definitely introduced us very well to Winter Soldier.
We're back. Aiight So Boom. We had some technical difficulties. My phone died.
Had to refill.
Bathroom break, or as they say in the military, the latrine. But we were talking about. We finished talking about Bucky, and now we're talking about where Sam and his sister are now going to the bank to get this loan, right? And they walk into the bank, and they sit down, and the first thing that happens is this loan officer's like, "Don't I know you from somewhere? Right. You played for LSU, right?" So now we have this thing where black guy walks in, and it's not like hey, you live in the neighborhood, or what do you do for a living? Automatically you go to hey, are you an athlete? Are you a football player?
Right. You a rapper?
Yeah. So, you get these touches of the black experience, right? And, obviously Sam has to get this loan, so, he's like, "No, come on, I'm an Avenger." He does the wing thing, the guy recognizes him all of a sudden, and now he's talking to him about him and his sister's new business setup and how they're going to change things around. The guy's not listening to him. He's like, asking questions about things that have nothing to do with what they're there for. And it's almost like the guy's just not paying attention to them, like they're invisible. and he just wants to talk about what he wants to talk about. You get to the point where Sam is telling him, you know, I have these contracts with the military, so I'm going to have, you can see I have money coming in. The guy's like, yeah, you know, but you have no income for the past 5 years. And he's like, well, I wasn't here. You know, I disappeared for 5 years. What do you want me to do? And the guy's like, yeah, well, you know, a lot of people disappeared. Like, me, I'd have been like, yeah, but I'm the one that brought him back. Like, what are you talking about?
Literally.
There should be a department for that now.
Did you see Endgame, bro? Cap on your left. That was me.
That was me, fam. So
no respect.
No respect. So, you know, the sister she's obviously fed up because she knew this is exactly how it was going to go. And the guy tells him, I'm sorry, you're not able to get the loan. You don't, you know, you have nothing to show. And yeah, you could, you know, chalk that up to 3.5 billion people, you know, disappeared. But it's just a callback to the black experience in terms of, you know, trying to make something or trying to get something in order to make something and always being denied. And the sister even brings that up because he says, you know, everybody is, what was the term that she said?
What?
Where he says, she says, funny that
things end up to tighten up around.
Right, he says things are tight right now because so many people just came back. And she says, funny that they always tighten up around for us. Right. Meaning, you know, black people, because clearly something should be done for us because our family has banked here for generations and generations. Right. Because, you know, we've had this business for so long. Because my brother saved the planet.
Universe.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the universe. But they're denied, they leave, and you know, they have their brother and sister back and forth banter, which is kind of like arguing and, you know, friendly, you know, back and forth. Yeah.
That's family, you know? I mean, be able to, as an audience, we've seen this journey, we've seen Sam from Winter Soldier to Endgame, and the last thing we would expect as an audience is for, you know, Sam Wilson to walk into a bank and get denied a bank loan.
Yeah. Or even have to, because...
or even have to.
Tony Stark, where's the money, fam?
Or
like,
even have to. T'Challa, I just fought a battle with T'Challa, one of the richest, you know, men in the world. Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. He definitely has access to capital.
Facts.
You know, he could let somebody ride his suit for $500 an hour. But like, the fact that they brought it home to, no, you're just a black man in America, says a lot about Marvel, says a lot about the storytelling, and it says a lot about how he's going to approach the Shield.
Yeah, and that takes me back to a scene that we didn't talk about, which was the Smithsonian.
Yes.
Where I think that was the second scene of the show, maybe. He irons his suit, and you don't know really where he's going, but he winds up at the Smithsonian, where they're having this ceremony so that he can give over the Captain America shield to them. Rhodey is in the crowd, and they're talking about the legacy of the shield to some degree, and you can see that Rhodey is expecting Sam to take the mantle. Or maybe he knows what's going to happen, but he just wishes that it was going to happen differently. Yeah. And Sam says that, you know, the shield is the legacy of this one man, Captain America, you know, Steve Rogers. And so I'm giving the shield to you to put in this case and leave here as a symbol and a tribute to this man and only him.
And they literally were like, great job! You did a smart thing. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was very
right. He said you did the right thing.
The right thing,
right? Like, what is that about? Like, thanks for bringing us the shield. You did the right thing.
Right.
Like,
that says that they wanted him to do it. You know.
Yeah.
One, they wanted him to do it, or two, you know, they were like, I hope he does it. You know, they didn't feel comfortable with him with that shield. Yeah. Put it this way, Cap Cap trusted him with it,
Yeah.
but the government would not have given it to Sam.
Yeah, and why, right? Why would they not give him the shield?
Mm-hmm.
Why at the end? Can we just go straight to the end? No, let's not. We'll get there later. I'm going too fast. My brain.
Having too much fun with this. But that was important. Even the Smithsonian scene was important.
So Rhodey and Sam have this talk where he's like, "Oh, I wish I had a War Machine doll so I can do the reenactment."
Shouts to Don Cheadle, man. Love seeing him.
Yeah. They have this talk where he's like, "So why didn't you take up the mantle?" And he's like, "It just didn't seem like it was for me. It didn't feel like it was my shield. It didn't feel like, And Rhodey's telling him, the world is in a strange place. Friends become enemies. Enemies are becoming friends. People are looking for a symbol to hold on to." And he's not pushing. He's not being pushy. He's just letting him know how he feels about the situation, and tells him he'll be in touch, right? So hopefully we see more of Rhodey in this series before we get him anywhere else, like Armor Wars. Or
I was about to say that. I mean, Don Cheadle is one of my favorite actors before this.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle is definitely a win-win situation. So seeing him in this was great. The fact that Don Cheadle is a black man, who's also a military man,
right?
That definitely added layers. You didn't have to ask questions. Why is he here? You knew exactly why he was there.
Yeah, for sure.
And the fact that he was a black man was not an accident. Black man to black man. Why didn't you take this mantle?
Right.
They didn't overdo it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't pour on the blackness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But for sure, you could tell that Rhodey, War Machine, wanted him to take it, not just because it needed to be taken, but also the symbolism of what it would mean for this new experience in America to have a Captain America that is represented by a black man, And for sure, he was disappointed that he didn't take it.
That's huge, and I think a lot of this season, we as fans are going to be thinking about what if Captain America was black.
Yep.
And the role of the black man in America. After all the work that we've done, after all of the work we've done, which is the black story, literally,
right?
On the backs of our work, this new world, how are we being taken care of?
Yeah.
This new country. So, I mean, to have this being painted in a comic book thriller is just...
Yeah, and to have a black man at the helm telling this story just lets you know that these undertones that are there are not just, by mistake, and not us just, making things up. They are there, and it's great that he's able to, subconsciously or even consciously add these layers into this story that is supposed to just be, a comic book action show. I love that. It's funny because for me, I never wear an American flag. I've never worn an American flag. I've never felt the need to put on an American flag. The most I'll do is wear like a red hat and a blue shirt on 4th of July, but like it's not something that I put on me, because a lot of times you feel like, one, it doesn't represent me fully, and two, it has taken on so many different connotations in the world. Like, what does the flag mean at any given time, right? Does it mean patriotism to the country? Does it mean I'm right wing? Does it mean I'm left wing? Does it mean that, I side with the police when they beat somebody? Like, what does it mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it means a lot. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I think the government knew that symbol right now, when the world is in disarray because 3.5 billion people just came back, and all of the chaos that happened while all of those people were gone, that needs to be there to reset for the American people, right? Because the symbol means a lot, To us, it means something because of comic books and TV shows, but in this world, it's a person to look up to that completely represents this country. Right. And that brings me to the Flag Smashers, because
the villains.
Because they want a country with no borders. They feel like a world with no borders, because they feel like the world was better off when before the blip, before everybody came back, because there was less government control over everything. There was less division, and I don't know if that makes them a bad guy or if it just makes them anti-establishment.
Right. I mean, the bad guy, the bad guyness comes with, you know, murder and
right.
That's why, you know.
Right. And that's a super great point, because I feel like Marvel a lot of times does a great job of giving you a villain that is only a villain because of their methods, not because of their reasoning, right? Like you have Thanos, right? Thanos wanted the galaxy to be better because he knew that there were population was overcrowded, right? There's too many beings, and we're eating up all the resources, and everything's going to be gone because nobody takes care of anything. His way of going about getting that was wrong, but his idea wasn't necessarily the worst thing in the world.
Right.
Killmonger, another one who his what he wanted wasn't bad. The killing and the way that he went about getting it was bad.
Right.
There's other characters.
He was a great one. Killmonger's a great one, because even with the killing, you felt you know what I mean? Like, his line was so blurry that you almost forgave him for even killing people.
Right. So now you get the Flag Smashers, who they think are run by the guy that Torres runs into after they, I believe, rob a bank.
Yeah, they robbed some Swiss bank.
Mm-hmm.
The Flag Smashers, the reason why I wrote it down, because they gender bent the leader of the Flag Smashers.
Well, we know that. Right. But the world thinks that the leader right now believes that the leader is that big guy with the long hair.
That's true.
They don't know that it's the little girl with the freckles.
And she was there too, giving out masks.
Yes.
But in the comic books, this character, instead of the group being the Flag Smashers, Flag Smasher was one guy. Who's I think his father was killed at some Swiss embassy, and he became somebody. His father was a diplomat, and he became somebody who did not appreciate governments, singular governments. So to bring that into the blip, smart, and we see that they're stronger than regular people. At least this leader gentleman was. He definitely kicked somebody through a pole. Yeah. So do we have super soldier serums happening?
Right.
You know, what the question is going to be, how do these people get their powers? Torres got his ass whooped.
Yeah.
He got stomped on.
He got stomped.
I don't think you don't even see people get stomped on the way he got stomped on. You just see the footprint on his face. Like, that's not even common, but that was definitely dope. He got his ass beat.
Alright, so boom.
Boom.
When Saweetie got her Bentley repossessed by Quavo, you know he did that, right?
Did he already?
when he sent the repo man for the Bentley, did he also take the Birkins?
I think she probably buried those Birkin bags.
Never mind. Getting back to the show.
But yeah, I mean, we have. Imagine we have a dead Captain America. He's gone. But we may have super soldier serum just kind of flying loose on the streets.
Yeah.
Falcon is not super strong.
No, he has no superpowers. He knows how to fly, you know, that contraption really good. Which brings me to the question: what happened to the rest of them?
That's what.
Was it that one prototype? Was he the only one with wings? Because I feel like he was part of a division. No.
In Winter Soldier, I'm trying to remember what they said. It was some prototype, but it was insinuated that he was the only one.
Alright, so he had the only one. Alright, fine, whatever.
And Winter Soldier is funny because Winter Soldier, he had on jeans and a V-neck t-shirt. Yeah. And then this big ass harness on. I remember seeing that, like, I hope they upgrade him. I was a little like, they better upgrade him.
His new suit is really cool and way
Very,
more reminiscent of
more white.
his 70s disco threads here.
Disco.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's a satin.
Okay, is that velvet? Nah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I can't wait till they fight together.
I like that at the very least in this first episode, we got them separate. They never spoke to each other. They never interacted. We got Falcon in his own storyline. We got Winter Soldier in his own storyline. Bucky in his own storyline. Because to just smash them together automatically into this buddy cop role would have been a disservice to both characters. I think they both need their own space to tell their story and their reasons for why this is going to be compelling for when they get together later. I would even like a second episode with them not meeting up.
And I was just about to say, because they have 6, this is going to probably be the only one that they're going to be kind of separate to kind of paint that picture. But you're right. I mean, having them separate, not throwing them in the mix just in the beginning. Imagine if it had started with them on a mission. You know what I'm saying? Like, then you'd have to split them up. New Orleans, shrink. Having them separate is definitely the smartest way to go. Yeah. Even when Bucky's at the shrink, you see behind him there's this big painting, this big peaceful painting with trees on it. The side view, you can see a lot of the window paneling look like prison bars. They do a lot to kind of show where Bucky's mindset is. Yeah. And his mindset is definitely important. Even when they zero in on Bucky in that scene, they don't even show his full face.
Yeah, it's just his eyes.
He's lying to the shrink, first of all. So it's important that we know that Bucky has been through a lot of trauma, and he's trying to wipe the slate clean. While running from his demons. I think that's enough for this guy. We know enough about him to be able to, give him a nice trajectory to the end. Yeah. And we kind of know where Sam's story is going. We kind of know. We don't know really where Bucky is headed. Yeah. If that makes sense.
I think that the show is called Falcon and Winter Soldier. And that is who they were, right? For the most part. It seems like Falcon is going to transcend into Captain America. And what does Winter Soldier become? Does he just become Bucky? Does he just, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work?
That's interesting.
It's just a question. I don't know. I thought it was interesting that Torres, when they were sitting and we keep juggling ideas because I just think of different things in the show at different times, but they were sitting at the table and he was like, so, Sam, where is, Steve Rogers? Is he, I heard he's in the moon somewhere, like, what, looking down over us, which is really funny because in the comic books, there was a series where the Watcher, Uatu, who was the Watcher for the planet Earth, got murdered. And when he gets murdered, you find out later that he was murdered by. Was he
like
murdered?
An extra. I'm trying to remember that story.
I don't remember, but Nick Fury becomes the Watcher at some point in time, and Bucky also becomes a Watcher for a short period of time. And in Uatu, the Watcher, he wasn't supposed to interfere with human affairs. He was only supposed to watch. But Nick Fury and Bucky both were like, they had like these big space guns, and like if something happened, like they were killing people and stuff. It was super cool. But it makes you think of that because at that point in time, I think Steve Rogers was still in the comic books, he was an old man. I forgot what they would call him in the comic.
Old Man Cap.
But he wasn't Cap. He had another name. He's working for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Yeah, and at that point in time, that's when Sam was Captain America.
Was Cap.
Yeah.
So you gotta brush up on your comics, yo.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's also cool that you can see where they take little bits and pieces from different places and not just like blanket full storylines, because it wouldn't be that much fun if I knew, okay, I could read this comic book and I'm going to know what's going to happen word for word. I love that. Yeah, I can get something from the 70s and something from 2010 and then something from the 80s, and they mesh it all together, or something from an alternate universe. You know what I'm saying? And they make these quilts of a brand new story.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's key. I mean, with Bucky, Bucky has a lot of comic book lore that they can play with.
Yeah.
You know, because he's definitely been through a lot in different realms.
He's been Captain America.
He's been Captain America. He's had the shield. So even in Winter Soldier, when they played with, you know, Bucky catching the shield, even that was a little like, you know, Easter egg to him one day having it. So we don't know exactly how far they're gonna go with Bucky's character. I'm all with it. I was always a fan of Sebastian Stan. The second he got that Winter Soldier, you know, I didn't know. It's funny watching the first Avenger movie when you see him introduced. You have no idea that his character would be what it was. You know what I'm saying? Which is definitely an ode to Marvel storytelling. But one of my theories though goes back to Torres, and that's because I don't necessarily trust the government. I don't trust the government at all in this series. So even as Torres is asking him questions, I'm almost like, why are you asking so many damn questions, bro?
I think he's just inquisitive. I think, you know, I think he wants to be his understudy. He wants to be, you know, the person that learns from this guy that he really likes and admires.
Don't be surprised if the government wants him to replace Falcon. Don't be surprised.
I wouldn't think that. I wouldn't think that. At some point in time in the comic books, Torres, when he becomes Falcon, actually has Falcon appendages. Like he has Falcon feet and real wings. Yeah. I hated that. I would goofy. Please just, you know, if he's going to become Falcon, please just give him, you know, the mechanical wings and let that be that. No superpower. He doesn't need any superpower. Just make him like Sam Wilson and make Sam Wilson Falcon with a shield and a red, white, and blue colors.
That's interesting because we definitely have, Blitz and I have opposing views on how we think Falcon is going to do. Blitz believes that Falcon is going to be Captain America, correct?
Absolutely.
We're going to see how this thing progresses and see how these theories turn out.
I think 100% at the end of this
100%.
series, I believe, put money.
I said 100%, yo.
Aiight So Boom.
Absolute certainty.
So he's absolutely going to become Captain America by the end of this series. I'll bet you on it. What you want to bet?
I bet you a Funko Pop. I don't have any of these.
I'll bet you a Funko Pop. Not this one. Not this one. But I'll bet you a Funko Pop.
We'll see. Let me see one more episode.
Yeah. So getting back into the series, I don't want to go through the whole thing like scene for scene, but you get Bucky where he has his flashback.
Yeah.
He's running through this place where he winds up killing this guy. Then you see him wake up on the floor. Did we speak about this already?
Yeah, how the waking up on the floor.
We did.
Was the callback to
Never mind.
Winter Soldier. But I mean, he had his lunch with the old
right with the old man. He's looking in his book.
Guilt.
And the old guy is really cool. Gets him a date with this girl at the restaurant they're at.
Very cool.
And Bucky goes on this date, and then the girl asks him, or she speaks about, how sad it is for Yuri, right? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Yuri?
I believe that's his name.
Yuri, because there is no word for losing a son and how sad that is.
That was pretty poetic.
Yeah, and then Bucky gets choked up and
he bounces.
He leaves, and then he goes to Yuri's house, and he wants to tell him that he's the person that killed his son. And I'm sure we'll get that later on, but in this episode, he just wasn't able to do it.
Yeah. You think they're gonna have a moment where he tells him?
I think that Bucky's journey in the series, for the most part, is for him to be forgiven by somebody.
Yeah.
And Yuri is going to be upset with him and angry but at the end he's going to forgive him, and that's going to take a little bit of the burden of guilt off of him, because he's going to be like, listen, I know you did this, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm hurt, but it wasn't you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then he's going to be able to feel like, well, yeah, it wasn't me.
Right.
You know, so now go be you.
Right.
And do good. And then he's going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's smart. We can't see him doing that with everybody in that little ledger book. But it doesn't,
right. Most of those people don't deserve it. But,
True.
You know what I'm saying? This guy
True.
and his family does, because that guy was a civilian. He had no...
That's a good point. I never thought about that. He's the guy that deserves that forgiveness, where everybody else was assholes anyway.
Right. You had Hydra agents in there. You had you know, Zemos in there. You know, he has different reasons to, you know, atone or to change the things that happen for different people. And for this one was you know, coming from a good place and not a vengeful place.
Listen, they set up two great characters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With two different issues, two different demons, you know, two different set of demons. That's very, very smart. You have two people who are worlds apart. You know, thanks to the Russo brothers, we kind of see them as buddy cops anyway.
Yeah.
So they're really able to paint a great story with these guys.
For sure.
The agent, you know, I mean, as far as the agent is the only last member of this superpowered, you know, cast. Agent
13, Sharon Carter?
I wasn't talking about her yet. I was talking about homie who they gave the shield to.
Oh, U.S. agent.
U.S. agent.
Right. So he's not U.S. agent in this show, at least not yet. They're calling him Captain America. He is Captain America. He has a pretty nice gun on his hip.
Cap did not have a gun.
He used the gun back in World War II.
He did
for a brief second, but for the most part, he only used his shield. But this guy is different, but the same, and that's the thing that I think you have to look at, right? Cap gave the shield to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Sam was supposed to become Captain America. The government was happy that he didn't. They played along with this ruse of having him put it in the Smithsonian, knowing full well that they were going to create another Captain America. And at the end of the show, we get another white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Captain America, right? So what is that saying? Is that saying that they didn't feel like Sam fit the mold, even after, you know, being a part of the Avengers and doing all these things? We're gonna get this brand new person out of nowhere that looks like a Captain America. You know, what does America look like? Does America look like blonde-haired, blue-eyed white men all the time? Is that America?
Right.
You know, who does the flag represent?
Right. Captain America, Winter Soldier was a beautiful film because Winter Soldier taught Captain America that our country's all of our intentions aren't always pure. Right. So Cap went through that journey, that beautiful journey of being, you know, he was a tool at first. Remember when Cap first started? He wasn't even fighting. Yeah. He was just a figurehead. He went from that to being who he was. The country that creates you has a lot to do with your missions.
Right.
The country that created Captain America wanted him to do X, Y, Z, and he learned, wait, I can't even follow this country's, you know, narrative because they don't have the purest of intentions all the time.
Yeah.
So the fact that U.S. Agent was created by them, and we can see he's on some Make America Great. We don't know. I can smell a Make America Great Again, you know, motif, you know, because he pretty much represents what America wants to be and what America could have been without this black, you know, option. So I really believe he's like the superhero pop, you know, Donald Trump running around here.
Yeah. That's funny because, you know, I think that they have the opportunity within this to create a a character, right, that seems like it has real world implications. Not so much with the new Captain America, but with who's behind him, right? And we've gone through 4 years of, you know, Trumpism and, you know, the things that come with that. And do we now get a character behind the scenes, or, you know, commander-in-chief, that doesn't necessarily have the best intentions for everybody? Which to me, right, is a Norman Osborn, or a the head of Roxxon, or a Bolivar Trask, you know, those type of figures that have all the power in the world, but and look on the surface to the people like they're there for you, or for the most part for the majority of the people, and it's not necessarily so. I would be really interested to see if we go somewhere like that within the show, because I do think that we're eventually going to get a team that feels like they're for America or the people, and they're not. And that's the Dark Avengers that was in the comic books, where we had a team of Avengers that were government sanctioned, and also completely made up of the worst people on the planet, bad guys, evil, you know.
Yeah. Isn't that the Thunderbolts?
That is the Thunderbolts. Well, the Thunderbolts was criminals, right?
I thought they were the government. Was it Thunderbolts that was criminals, and New Avengers were the government agents? You know, the AC and all that.
Oh, man.
That's
I told you when I came back here to tell me to cut the AC off.
Liz, you're talking over there, I was like, this thing is on. It's going to be uneven.
You guys are just going to have to deal with it. The air conditioning is on. I'm going to cut it off now, but like a good chunk of this episode is going to have that noise in the back. I'm not redoing this. I'm not doing it.
It's going to be quiet, and it's going to be like...
I'll try and edit that all in post. We'll see what happens.
See if you
like I said, guys.
compress the outside noise.
Like I said, guys, you'll grow with us.
It's all good.
You know, we're winging it. We're winging it.
Get it?
That was so corny. So, yeah, I think that we pretty much covered this first episode of Winter Soldier. It was a really good episode.
Solid.
I'm really excited. I don't think that there are any comparisons whatsoever to WandaVision, except that it's a Marvel show. They're made by two completely different teams.
Yeah.
The feel is completely different. I'm just happy that we're not getting the same thing over and over again, and I don't think that we ever will.
Right.
It'll always feel like something different, and that's something that Marvel movies do greatly, because we'll get, you know, the espionage thriller.
Yeah.
We'll get the heist movie.
The comedy.
We'll get the comedy, right? We'll get the space drama.
Yeah.
We'll get all of those things, and they just do a lot of. Kevin Feige makes sure that they do a lot of things really well, rather than doing one thing, you know, well. And that's my gripe with DC, is that they're pretty one note with it.
Yeah.
And it's always dark, grim for the really disgruntled 40-year-old, you know, person who knows these characters already. Because you can't really, a lot of these movies you can't show to your kids.
Right.
You know, your little kids can't watch these movies because they're just, you know, so graphic and too mature. Or at least you shouldn't. I mean, I'm sure people do, because they say, hey, it's a comic book movie, whatever.
Right.
But I wouldn't, you know. So what Disney does, or Marvel rather, they give you something that, for the most part, is always in the middle line, where you can have the people that don't know about these characters and never seen these characters before in their life jump on and say, hey, I like this. And it has those light and funny moments, and it's not too heavy ever, right. But at the same time, you get, you know, the social commentary in there, and you get these different types of movies all at the same time, coming from these different directors and writers who all have different strengths, and for the most part, usually are not super seasoned. Like, right. You know, they get to
flex.
They get to play with the toys. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like really play with them instead of, this is the type of movie we want. Make this movie. Right. You know, if you don't, you're fired.
Right. I mean, we're used to action movies having, you know those 4 action directors. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it Michael Bay? Is it this guy? You know, where they're able to kind of jump into a wealth of talent that we don't even have access to.
What's weird to me is that Disney has always been about, aside from making good content, also merchandise, right?
Oh yes.
And I don't feel like with DC that you can sell that much merchandise, because you're alienating the kids. That's just my opinion. It always feels like the alienating
films.
Yeah.
Well, they've never had anything cohesive enough to be able to. I mean, what they always don't know. You know, they release a movie and then you don't know, because this movie didn't do that well, if it's going to continue. They haven't had that much.
I'm not crapping all over the DC. I like the Batman movies. I like almost every Batman movie that ever came out. No, that's a lie. I liked the latest Batman trilogy. And then I also like Batman vs Superman for the most part. I like the new Superman movie. I hate both of the Wonder Woman movies. Sorry, but I also hate Captain Marvel. I hate Captain Marvel.
We're fair over here.
And that's not because they're female films. It's just that I think that they were badly done. I love strong female characters.
Oh yeah.
And female-driven movies, but I think the Wonder Woman movies are bad, and I think that Captain Marvel was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, they have one more shot with Captain Marvel.
They got another shot.
You know, if they can make it up with the second film. We have a black woman director, Nia LaCosta. You know, we have Spectrum. I'm hoping she's called Spectrum. Hi, Tiana Paris. I know you're watching this.
He sounds like Royce the 5'9". Hi, Rihanna.
Hi, Rihanna. Right. So no, that's key. That's key. So I mean, you know, black people, we're gonna be watching this show. We're gonna be commenting on making sure that commentary stays firm.
Listen, we're here for everybody. We're here for everybody. We're here for you, Sweet. We're here for you, Quavo. We're here for everybody. What is he doing?
Yo, I gotta get my Falcon on, yo.
Wow.
Oh. I forgot I was supposed to do it like this. Anyway, Falcon is coming soon to a screen near you. Now, can America handle this Black Falcon?
Or Black Captain America, rather, right? Like, what's going to happen with that? I haven't heard a lot of backlash about him becoming Captain America, have you?
Backlash?
Yeah, you think, like, people are saying, oh, that's not my Captain America. You see that with a lot of other characters. I haven't seen it so much with him. You have?
No, I haven't. Yeah. I haven't. I mean, this episode just dropped. I mean, it still may happen.
Yeah. I mean, people were mad at, Spider-Verse until they saw it, and then it's like, oh, wow, Miles Morales is amazing.
Right.
There are a lot of characters that people always have a problem with them updating or making a new version with a different ethnicity of the character.
I can see Barack Obama watching this like, that's what I went through. America. Nah. But nah, this is definitely a conversation piece and an action-packed, series. I couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see where they go from here. We got 5 more episodes. We'll be here for each one of them. Do you want to talk about this versus that happened, or do you just no?
Hip hop. I mean,
we are hip hop dudes.
We're 2 MCs, right?
Yeah. I be rapping. You be rapping.
Bro, you be rapping, yo.
You be rapping,
dude,
though.
You be doing your thing, bro.
I know I do be doing my thing, don't I? Sixers out now. Go get that.
Well, how do you feel about, in general, real quick, how do you feel about the Triller buyout, Swizz Beatz and Timbaland? This is a new Versus.
Yeah,
This is the first one, right?
This is the first one on Triller. I think it was dope. I think that a lot of people didn't understand the transition of them selling to Triller. I saw some people was like, "Oh, you guys are sellouts or whatever." You build businesses up so that you can sell those businesses for a profit, and at the same time as doing that, they made money. The people that made the brand as big as it was, the artists, made money because they became shareholders, right? And it still lives on just as great as it was before, if not better.
Not greater.
So what's the problem? Everybody, all of these black people made, all of these artists,
black music
artists, right? In a panorama, made money, and you still get what you were getting before. So why would you not want them to sell it? Like, what do you care what they do with their money if you're still getting the product?
Yeah, I think we're very sensitive, to these, to these situations where we see somebody selling something, we feel they're automatically selling out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's almost like a reflex.
Yo, listen, if they sold, right, and then the next verses was,
Bruce Springsteen and
Bruce Springsteen versus Sting or something.
Right.
Yeah, I can see you saying they sell out, but the very next one you got was Ghostface versus Raekwon.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, and people loved it. Yeah. And I made my purpose was to download Triller and see if it was just as good as if I was watching on Apple, right? Because usually once they did the Apple deal, I would watch on Apple rather than watching on Instagram, just because the sound quality was better. I could throw it up on my TV screen. And it was better. It was better.
The Triller experience?
Absolutely, because you get the on Apple, you were watching it and you were looking at a Twitter feed.
Right.
On Triller, you're watching it and you get to interact within Triller at the same time as you're watching it, right? And everything was super on time responsive. Like if you watched on Apple TV and you were watching the Twitter feed was 20 minutes behind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But on Triller, it was real time. You were watching the comments happen at the time that they were supposed to be happening. Right. So if Ghostface threw on, a song and somebody's like, "Oh snap, it's such and such," it was right there on time. You know what I'm saying? Rather than 5-10 minutes later. So it was very intuitive, very good. I think Triller is definitely doing their thing. They have this. They have the boxing thing that they're doing now, because that last fight that happened with Tyson and
the exhibition fight.
Yeah, the Tyson and what is his name? Y'all must have forgot.
Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank too.
The Tyson fight that just happened. That was Roy Jones Jr. My bad. That was on Triller. Yeah. Nate Robinson getting knocked the F out.
That was on Triller too?
That was
I think that's when Triller started. You're right. Triller definitely got a lot of hits because of that fight.
I learned about Triller through watching, what's his name's videos? What's that guy's name? A rapper. Gosh, what is his name? He did a song with Eminem. He did the
Logic. No,
but he did a song with Logic. Why can't I remember his name? Joyner Lucas. I learned about Triller by watching Joyner Lucas's videos, because at the end it say powered by Triller, I think. Okay. Right.
Now that's interesting.
So Triller is this Triller. Sorry. It's an app that is very much a competitor to, you want to say, Snapchat, I guess, or What's the?
Is that what you would put it up with?
What's the other one that's like that?
I mean, so it's not a channel. It's
a lot of things because when they do a live, you know, you have actual shows up there. I haven't dug deep into it. Like I said, I just downloaded it for the Raekwon and Ghostface battle. I can't say who won that battle. I think the Culture won.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of these battles as battles, but you know, that's just me. You know, the battle is a term. It depends on who's going. You know, I don't see them as a battle.
I try to watch them as battles just because I'm a competitive MC, and that's what I want. I want to see, you know, all right, who won, who lost. In this, I thought for sure Ghostface was going to just like wipe the floor with Raekwon, even though they're very equal in terms of the music they make.
Yeah.
Ghost catalog is more extensive, and most of Raekwon's best songs have Ghostface on them.
Ooh,
a lot of his songs, a lot of his great songs have Ghostface on them, right? Yeah. And he did play a lot of, but I wasn't looking at like that when I watched it.
Right.
If you played a great song, I'm giving you the point.
Yeah.
If Ghost played a great song, I'm giving him the point. And a lot of the songs that Ghost played didn't have Ray on them, right? A lot of songs Ray played did have Ghost on them, but that didn't enter into my ranking. And then at the end, the last 5 songs, Ghost played his most commercial songs ever, like everything that was like super R&B, like, you know, had definitely had like a hit singer on it and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm giving all these points to Raekwon now. I was like, I was
really keeping score.
Yeah, I was. I have a paper in my pocket. I'll go get it and I'll show you the score. But
wow.
And a lot of songs were ties. A lot of songs were ties for sure because they just have great catalogs.
Yeah, they do.
But at the end, I was like, ooh, Raekwon got this. Ooh, Raekwon got that too. Ooh, because I didn't want to hear these, you know, the softer songs from Ghost.
Ghost is playing with the crowd, you know?
But to me, I said, okay, Ray is really trying to win this battle at the end, and Ghost is really trying to get those streams up. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, right? Getting those streams to go through the roof after this comes on.
It happens consistently.
Absolutely. So I'm
405%.
You know, shout out to Ghost and Ray and all the people that came through to that battle. Inspector Deck was there.
Yes,
RZA was there. Capadonna was there. I was surprised Meth wasn't there. But it was a dope night for hip hop.
Meth is like big. I'm on power, okay? I'm an actor.
Nah, it was a really fly night for hip hop, and
it was.
And for Triller to then right after put up the next battles that are happening. Like you got, who did you say?
Earth, Wind, and Fire versus Isley Brothers on
Earth,
14.
Wind, and Fire versus the Isleys.
That's crazy. Your mama gonna get up for this one.
That's nuts.
Wake up, mama, for this one.
Fam, what? I'm going to be I'm going to be live casting with my mom watching that one.
Seriously,
for sure.
Like this is for the old souls out there. You youngins need to tune in and listen to some real good music.
You might have to come over and we do that on AIIGHT So Boom, like live watching it or
That's
something.
a good one, yo.
That might be fly.
That's a good one. And I would say if you don't connect these to your systems and play these versus battles like they're concerts, you're missing out.
Yeah, if you playing them through your phone speakers, you lost.
You're missing out, especially the good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had enough versus battles. I think people know what's up.
So what date is that?
I think it's the 14th
of
April. April 20th would be the 420.
420.
And that's Method Man and Redman.
That's going to be fire.
Which is as smart as you can do. I remember going to Colorado a couple of years ago and Redman and Method Man were all in there for 420.
Y'all don't understand what's going to happen with that.
That's going to be wild.
Earth, Wind, and Fire and Isley Brothers going to be a bunch of old people sitting in chairs, playing their songs.
Instruments.
Yeah. You know, I remember when we recorded back that night in 62.
Trying to play y'all.
Man, I tell you, that was a good night. It's going to be like that. If you ever seen Meth and Red perform live, boy, oh boy.
And they're going to be in the same room like Ghost and Ray?
Yeah.
That's a party.
Yeah.
They're gonna do Rockwaller. I mean, they're gonna do all the songs. I mean, they have 2 albums together, right?
So here's the problem with that, right? I hope that they set it up properly and they're able to be as dynamic as they are, because when they went and performed with D'Angelo on the second to last, that was the worst thing I ever saw in my life.
With her and D'Angelo?
Yeah. That was bad.
Yeah, I don't know if they put much planning into that one. It's like that was kind of like
it's like they just showed up. They caught an Uber real quick. Was like, yo.
Yeah, it didn't fit at all.
No. And they were like, man, the sound is off like a mug.
Yeah.
They were really upset with that, I'm sure. So hopefully they'll redeem themselves on 420 and people will light up and watch, Red and Math.
The D'Angelo versus, is that an official versus battle?
Okay, so here's what happened. Apple had a 10 versus deal with Swizz and Timbaland. This was the 10th one coming up, and they had another contract to sign, right?
Oh, they need to get this out the ring.
So D'Angelo was supposed to battle somebody. Supposedly he was supposed to battle Maxwell. Yeah, I know.
Ladies, you missed that one.
Yeah, and we missed out too, because if they would have battled, boy, that would have been a good night for anybody that was on a date. Anyway,
making some babies, boy.
But supposedly those two were supposed to battle. Either one of them said they didn't want to battle. I don't know the logistics.
Maxwell ain't want the smoke.
Maxwell would have smoked D'Angelo.
You think so?
No, I don't. But I think it would have been a good battle.
That's a very interesting battle. I'm sorry, go ahead. That's a very interesting battle.
Yeah.
Just talking number of hits.
Yeah. I do
panties would have been thrown everywhere.
Yeah, man.
Maxwell had hits, and then he had recent hits.
Really?
Yeah, I mean Maxwell had a comeback. He had a full comeback album and tour.
Really?
Yes, really. It was a few years ago. So did D'Angelo.
Listen, when Maxwell's first album came out, I was working for a company doing promotion and marketing for a bunch of different artists and labels. And I was working Aaliyah's last project. I think I was working Alicia Keys' project that was coming out around that time. Because there was a tour. Remember, Maxwell and Alicia Keys were touring together, I think, around then. But anyway.
Wow. J Records.
Yeah. I wound up taking my mom to a Maxwell concert. Right? My mom, to this day, has the poster.
Wow.
Like, she has a little office space in her house. And she has the Maxwell poster up. Like
from there.
Like, it's there, right? Yeah. I don't know how my dad feels about this, but she has this big Maxwell poster up of Urban Hang Suite, and that album was amazing. So Urban Hang Suite, if he played every song from there, it's hard to beat, man.
Listen, I mean, I'm not defending it, but listen, Brown Sugar wasn't a lame album.
No, and he did his thing on the solo tip. But anyway, I say all that to say this. The reason that they had this odd verses with just one person and his amazing friends was because they owed it to Apple in order to get out of their deal so that they could sign their deal with Triller.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And often these business moves are made. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but that makes sense. I kind of wish, now that you mention all this, like I downloaded Caffeine for all the URL, the battle rappers.
Yeah?
I kind of wish that they were on Triller. You know, I kind of wish they were able to use that platform for the battle rap culture.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they could make a lot of use out of what's going on with that platform. Have you downloaded Caffeine?
I used it once, I believe. I I think that they do a bad job of notifications.
Yeah, that's non-existent.
Because I never know when the next battle's coming up anymore. Yeah. I used to be way more into it when Pumpkinhead was here, PH. One of my best friends who was a battle rapper, I was very much more in tune with what was happening because he would tell me and I felt like there was more online telling me when the next battle was coming, and now it feels like it's very haphazard when I get the information for when another battle is coming. Maybe if I paid more attention to caffeine, maybe they do have notifications. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great opportunity. You know what I'm saying? This is a time where everybody's streaming.
Is there a paywall for caffeine?
No.
You could just watch.
I feel like there should be, because I don't get. You said that I don't get any notifications either.
Yeah.
I've had to go on and say, all right, what's Goods doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is with T-Rock or whatever? Like I would have to go and see. But that's not my favorite way of getting. I want to know.
Yeah.
So something like a Triller where they're focused on content playing, like if there's a battle, I feel like we would know.
Well, KOTV just had their big thing that they did on Twitch. I don't know if you saw that. No. They had a long series of battles where at the end the winner won $50,000, I believe, and this young cat, I can't remember his name, won against Marv One, who's a good friend of mine, has a new album out with his group 101. Marv One from Detroit. He's really dope. Check him out. But yeah, man, I do feel like we should stay more in tune with battle culture, so we can talk about that here too. Yeah. So those will be our things, right? Comic book movies and shows, versus battle rap.
Into all of them. I can watch all of those things all day long. I
like it. No wrestling. I'm not doing wrestling.
Yeah, I'm good.
I hate wrestling.
Especially nowadays. I wouldn't even know.
We should edit that. People really like wrestling, but I don't like wrestling. I'm sorry. I was never that big a fan. I remember watching some of the very first what do you call them? WrestleManias, but
well, as a kid, it was kind of hard to avoid them.
Yeah, when I was 10, maybe.
Hulk Hogan was one of the biggest celebrities. You think The Rock was big?
Yeah, he's racist.
Yeah, that's true.
Do not rock with Hulk Hogan.
That's true, yo. All the reckonings, yo. All the racist reckonings. We're old. We know what's up. Okay. Everything y'all did when you was racist when you was younger, we're now old, and you can't just do that again. So we're gonna nip that in the bud, yeah. We're gonna nip that in the bud.
Aiight So Boom. When Saweetie says, "That's my type," does she mean Midnight's gonna cheat on her? I'm just asking. Just asked.
Aiight So Boom. How's your relationship going?
Hey guys, listen. It's been a great show. We've been here for really way longer than you're going to see this because I'm going to edit the shit out of this video. And also, we've had tons of technical difficulties because, like I said, we're just setting up and figuring this all out. But it is a pleasure and great time and happy to have somebody in the actual space with me. My man, MarXman. MarXman, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me, you can follow me at The MarXman, TheMarXman, themarksman.com. The second season of X Marks the Black podcast will be available soon. This is something we're doing in between seasons to make sure that we kind of get our nerd stuff out the way. So, I look forward to seeing you. MarXman.
I'm LR Blitzkrieg. You can find me at LR_Blitzkrieg on socials. You'll see there'll be lots of links and stuff happening somewhere around. I don't know if it'll be up there. There'll be links. Click your links.
Click it.
I got a new project out with my brother, the Bad C, called The Sixers, produced by super producer, Grammy nominated producer Knots.
Woo!
Check that out, cause I'll be rapping.
You be rapping.
You be rapping.
I mean,
we be rapping. We be rapping.
We rap well,
but not about comic book movies. So,
unless you got a check for us, Marvel, I'll start writing right now.
Man, these Falcon bars.
Falcon. Damn.
Nothing wrong with Falcon, right?
Damn. Boy, the power like some talcum. No. Damn. X like Malcolm. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Bring you the power like some. Nah, damn. We're gonna work on that.
Anyway, guys, this is Aiight So Boom, and we'll see you next week.
Stay tuned.
Hey.
MCMI. Check it out.